Washington quarter. At first glance, it might look like just another piece of pocket change, but when you dig deeper, it's a coin with history, stories, and even hidden value. From its place in America's economy, to rare minting errors, to its role in everyday life, this simple 25-cent piece is more than meets the eye. If you've got a 1980 quarter at home, take a closer look. You never know what treasure might be hiding in your change jar. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more coin stories, and tap the bell icon so you won't miss the next one. And remember, every coin has a story, you just have to know how to read it. See you in the next video. Asterisk. Washington quarter. At first glance, it might look like just another piece of pocket change, but when you dig deeper, it's a coin with history, stories, and even hidden value. From its place in America, got it thumbs up you'd like a 4,000-word YouTube script about the 1980 USA $quarter coin. That's quite detailed, long enough for a deep dive documentary-style video. Here's what I'll do. Write it in a storytelling plus educational tone, engaging for YouTube. Structure it into chapters/sections, history, design, minting, value, errors, collector market, cultural impact, etc. Add hooks, transitions, and call-to-action points for YouTube to keep viewers engaged. Target length, 4,000 words. Scroll YouTube script, the 1980 $quarter, hidden secrets of an everyday coin. Clapperboard intro, hook. Camera zooms in on a shiny 1980 Washington quarter lying on a table. Background music, suspenseful, intriguing. Narrator, enthusiastic. Think about the last quarter you held in your hand. Maybe you used it at a vending machine, maybe you tossed it into a tip jar, or maybe you didn't even notice it. But what if I told you that a simple 1980 United States quarter could tell us stories about American history, economics, minting technology, and even hold hidden collector's value worth far more than 25 cents? Welcome to today's deep dive, where we uncover the fascinating world of the 1980 Washington $quarter. Grab your magnifying glass, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. Classical Building, Chapter 1. The Origin of the Quarter. Narrator. Before we zoom into 1980, let's rewind. The quarter, as a denomination, dates back to 1796, one of the earliest U.S. coins after the Coinage Act of 1792. Why a quarter? Because America's currency system was based on decimalization, and a $quarter worth 25 cents represented 1/4 of a dollar. A logical, practical piece of money for everyday transactions. Fast forward to 1932. America was celebrating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The U.S. Mint decided to honor the first president by redesigning the quarter. Out went the Standing Liberty design, and in came the now famous Washington quarter. Sculpted by John Flanagan, this design featured George Washington's bust on the obverse, and a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. For decades, this design reigned supreme. And in 1980, that's exactly the quarter we had in circulation. Magnifying glass tilted right, Chapter 2. The 1980 Washington quarter. Narrator. So, what makes the 1980 quarter special? Well, first, it sits right at an important transition in American coinage. 1. Composition change, 1965. Before 1965, quarters were 90% silver. But rising silver prices forced the U.S. Mint to switch to a copper-nickel-clad composition, an inner layer of pure copper, sandwiched between two outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. By 1980, this was the standard, meaning that unlike older silver quarters, the 1980 quarter had no intrinsic silver value. 2. High mintage numbers. In 1980, the quarter was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Millions were struck, but some carry unique characteristics that attract collectors. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark over 635 million struck. Denver Mint, D over 518 million struck. San Francisco Mint, S over 3.5 million proof coins for collectors. 3. Design elements. The obverse still shows Washington's portrait, but sharper-eyed collectors know that small differences in strike quality, details in the hair, and rim clarity can affect value. So while it might look like just another pocket change coin, The details make all the difference. Moneybag Chapter 3. Collector Value and Rarities. Narrator, intriguing tone. Here's where things get exciting. Most 1980 quarters in circulation are worth, well, 25 cents. But under the right circumstances, certain 1980 quarters can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Factors that affect value. Condition. Uncirculated or mint state coins, MS-65 and above, can fetch $5 to $20, sometimes much more. Proof coins, S-mint with mirror-like finishes, proof quarters from San Francisco can be worth $2 to $10, and rare perfect graded examples can go higher. Errors and varieties. This is where the real money lies. Famous errors of 1980 quarters. 1. Off-center strikes. If the coin design is misaligned, values can shoot from $50 to several hundred depending on severity. 2. Double dies. Rare but fascinating. A double date, motto, or lettering can fetch big bucks. 3. Clipped planchets. When a blank piece of metal is improperly cut, you get a quarter missing part of its edge. These can be worth $100 plus. 4. Transitional errors. Imagine if a 1980 quarter was mistakenly struck on a leftover silver planchet, extremely unlikely, but known in other years. Such coins can sell for thousands. In fact, a pristine 1980 D Washington quarter graded MS-67 once sold for over $1,000 at auction. Not bad for something that looks like spare change, right? Chart Increasing Chapter 4. The Economy and the 1980 Quarter. Narrator. Now let's put the coin in context. America in 1980 was a nation in transition. Inflation was high, the economy was turbulent, and the purchasing power of a quarter wasn't what it once was. In 1980, a quarter could buy you a newspaper, a local bus fare in many cities, a payphone call, or even a couple of candy bars. Today, that same 25 cents has the purchasing power of about 90 cents to $1 in 2025 dollars. So while the quarter remained a vital coin, its real value was eroding, something collectors today reflect on when they see these coins. Artist Palette Chapter 5. Design Legacy. Narrator. The Washington quarter design of 1980 was nearing its 50th year in circulation. Some numismatists criticized John Flanagan portrait as being too flat or lacking in artistry compared to earlier coinage. Others defended it as iconic and patriotic. Little did people know, in just a couple of decades, the Washington quarter would undergo a major transformation. Starting in 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program, followed by national parks designs, and more. But the 1980 quarter still represents the classic pre-statehood design era, a true relic of traditional U.S. coinage. Detective, Chapter 6. How to check your 1980 quarter. Narrator, instructional tone. So if you've got a handful of coins at home, how do you know if your 1980 quarter is special? Here are some steps. 1. Check the mint mark. Look right under the date. No mint mark means Philadelphia, D means Denver, S means San Francisco proof. 2. Check the condition. If it looks brand new with full details, it may be mint state. 3. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass. Check for doubling on the lettering, off-center strikes, or unusual edges. 4. Weigh it. A standard copper-nickel quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours weighs more, like 6.25 grams, it could be struck on a silver planchet. Jackpot. 5. Get it graded. For serious fines, send it to PCGS or NGC for A. Perfect thumbs up. You want a full 4,000-word YouTube script about the 1987 U.S. quarter-dollar coin, documentary style, engaging, and detailed for your channel. Here's my plan. Write it as a long-form narrated script, broken into chapters: history, design, minting, errors, collector value, cultural context, etc. Keep the tone conversational plus educational, just right for YouTube. Add hooks, fun facts, and call to actions to maintain viewer engagement. Target 4,000 words, which translates to 25-30 minutes of narration. Clapperboard YouTube script, the 1987 Washington quarter, the forgotten coin with hidden secrets. Movie camera intro, hook. Close-up shot of a 1987 Washington quarter slowly spinning on a table, dramatic music in the background. Narrator, engaging tone. How many times have you held a quarter without giving it a second thought? For most of us, it's just pocket change. But the 1987 Washington quarter isn't just a 25-cent coin. It's a story of American history, minting technology, economics, and hidden collector value. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of the 1987 U.S. quarter dollar. By the end, you'll know why this ordinary-looking coin is anything but ordinary. Classical Building, Chapter 1. The History of the Quarter. Narrator. To truly understand the 1987 quarter, we have to step back in time. The U.S. quarter dollar traces its roots back to 1796, when the very first quarters were minted. These early coins were made of silver and featured Lady Liberty on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. But the Washington quarter we know today began in 1932, when the nation celebrated the 200th birthday of George Washington. The U.S. Mint wanted a new design to honor the first president, and sculptor John Flanagan portrait of Washington was chosen. The reverse showed a bold heraldic eagle with wings outstretched, a symbol of American strength. This design would remain in circulation for decades, right up until the late 1990s. By the time we get to 1987, the Washington quarter had already been circulating for over 50 years, making it one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Magnifying Glass Tilted Right Chapter 2. The 1987 quarter at a glance. Narrator. So what exactly was the 1987 quarter? Let's break it down. Obverse, front Washington's profile, facing left, designed by John Flanagan. Above his head, the word, Liberty. To the left, the motto, In God We Trust. Below, the year, 1987. Reverse, back the eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, olive branches beneath, symbolizing both war and peace. Above it, United States of America. Below, quarter dollar. Composition. Copper-nickel clad, outer layers of 75% copper, 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. Weight, 5.67 grams. Diameter, 24.3 millimeters. Edge, reeded. Unlike earlier silver quarters, the 1987 coin had no precious metal content. It was made entirely for circulation, designed to be durable and practical. Factory Chapter 3. Minting and Mint Marks. Narrator. The 1987 Washington quarter was struck at 3 U.S. mints. 1. Philadelphia, no mint mark over 529 million coins. 2. Denver, D over 655 million coins. 3. San Francisco, S just under 4.2 million proof coins, made especially for collectors. That's a massive mintage, over 1.18 billion quarters in total. This huge supply explains why most 1987 quarters are still only worth face value today. But, as always, the details matter. Moneybag Chapter 4. Value and Collector Demand. Narrator. Most 1987 quarters you find in circulation are worth 25 cents. But for collectors, condition, rarity, and errors make all the difference. Circulated coins, still worth face value. Uncirculated, MS65 Plus can fetch $5 to $15. High-grade rarities, MS67 Plus sometimes sell for $500 or more at auction. Proof coins, San Francisco's mint mark worth $2 to $10, depending on condition. Perfect graded proofs, PR70 DCAM, can bring $100 plus. But here's where things get exciting: mint errors and varieties. These can transform an ordinary 1987 quarter into a valuable collectible. High Voltage Chapter 5. Rare Errors and Varieties. Narrator, suspenseful tone. Let's talk about the kinds of errors that make 1987 quarters worth serious money. 1. Double die errors, when the coin design is accidentally struck twice at slightly different angles. Look closely at the lettering, date, or motto. Doubling equals rarity. 2. Off-center strikes. If the design is misaligned, collectors pay big premiums. A 50% off-center 1987 quarter could be worth $200 plus. 3. Clipped planchets. Coins missing a section of their edge due to faulty cutting. These quirky errors can fetch $50 to $150. 4. Broad strikes and partial collars. When the coin is struck without proper containment, causing it to spread unnaturally. Value, $50 plus. 5. Transitional planchet errors. Although extremely rare, if a 1987 quarter were struck on a leftover planchet of another metal, its value could reach thousands. Auction houses have seen some 1987 quarters sell for $1,000 plus when rare errors are involved. Chart increasing Chapter 6. The Economy Indiana 1987. What a quarter could buy. Narrator. Let's step back to 1987. What could you actually buy with a quarter? A payphone call across town. A newspaper. A candy bar or a can of soda. A few games at an arcade, where quarters ruled the entertainment world. Fast forward to today, and that same 25 cents has only about 60 cents worth of purchasing power due to inflation. This makes the 1987 quarter a little time capsule, reflecting the economy and lifestyle of late 80s America. Artist Palette Chapter 7. The Design Debate. Narrator. By the mid-1980s, some critics argued the Washington quarter design had become stale. After all, it had been in use since 1932. Numismatists debated whether Washington's bust should be updated or replaced. But the Mint kept it. Why? Because it was iconic. Americans recognized it instantly. It symbolized stability in an era of change. Of course, in 1999, the 50-state quarters program would arrive and completely revolutionize the design. But the 1987 quarter still stands as one of the last decades of the classic eagle reverse before state quarters took over. Detective, Chapter 8. How to check your 1987 quarter. Narrator, instructional tone. Want to know if your 1987 quarter is valuable? Here's what to do. 1. Look at the mint mark, P, D, or S. 2. Check the condition, sharp details, no scratches, little wear equals higher value. 3. Use a magnifying glass. Search for doubling, off-centers, or clipped edges. 4. Weigh it. Should be 5.67 grams. Anything significantly different could mean an error. 5. Get it graded. Serious collectors use PCGS or NGC to certify value. Even if you don't find a jackpot coin,